Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. And friends, the Star Wars Saturdays, May the 4th be with you. Minicon is behind us, it's in my rear view for 2024. It was delightful. There were 15 different games and hangouts, watch parties. It was a really great time. Had a super blast. We are in we're in the winter phase of this quarterly that I've been running. The game is called Fellowship. Fellowship is from Barry Gothica Games. It consists of four different, very hefty for rich, maybe not for your conventional style gamer, but big tomes from me. And we are telling the story of the fall of Zinj, the warlord, Imperial warlord, who decided to make the galaxy great again or something. I don't know. And uh, for current, the rebellion, which is within this Imperial remnant, this story takes place after Return of the Jedi. They are heading after one of the lieutenants of Zinj, the last before he would fall. Her name is Queen Noles. Nola Centel, a Zygarian, daughter of Mirage, who was the queen of Zygaria during the Clone Wars. She has been rebuilding the Zygarian slave empire that was shut down by the Knights of the Old Republic. And you all traded in a favor with Whisper of Dathomir to find out where she is, and you found that she is on her personal ship, which is called the Dominion's Claw, a YV-865 Aurora class freighter, and that she was bringing some very special treasures back to her homeworld, which is located far, far to the edge of Zinj's empire. And if you check the Zinj's empire map, which is to the farthest right, it is Zygaria. If we were to assign north, south, east, west, would be far to the northeast. So that's all the setup. Let's quickly roll around. This is sadly the last game with this entire crew assembled. Schedules, being an adult, it sucks. So we will make the best of what time we have, especially since we have a hard out at the end. So let's go around the horn with a couple sentences from each player talking about their character because it's always fun to have someone talk about their character. I'm going to go flip mode and have Tyler lead us off.
Hi there, I'm Tyler, he and pronouns, and I am playing Matron Chevelza Henri's, who is a Dathomiri witch, has been and is working for Zinj, um, playing the Nemesis playbook, but I'm very near to becoming the Redeemed, as I am working with the Fellowship to bring down Zinj and to promote the interests of one of the players that I'm very interested in, the Prince Darren. Um, and let's see. Other than that, uh, I have a questionable morals, maybe, but I think we're seeing beneath it all. There's a tiny wizened heart of gold.
Absolutely. She's a sweetie. No complaints. No danger whatsoever. Next up is Greg. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character, please.
Hi, I'm Greg, he, him pronouns, playing Zop Books, also he, him pronouns, Zop. Rhodian War Machine, Death Incarnate, transformed, gonna kill Zinj on a highway to hell. Um he has removed all distractions, as he said in the last session. And there's nothing that will hold him back with the death of his long rival. So it's gonna be metal.
It's so metal. It's so bloody. I love it. Next up in the middle of our character keeper is Kay.
Hey, I'm Kay of the She and They Variete, and I am playing Darren von Vorlock, he, him, our heir, uh, the scion of a lovely planet called Vorlock that has been besieged and found out recently by the Empire. He's kind of at a crux in his life right now where he's either going to make a left or a right, and that's going to make some choices. He's kind of really baby Bjorn bonded to a Sith holocron with no idea of the context, but he's also got these really cool friends and two different kind of mentors who are pulling him in different directions. And we're going to see, I think, today where that will lead this young little princeling, if it's truly rage and death and darkness, or perhaps becoming a great leader. We'll see.
Delightful. Next up, Steven, please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Steven. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Nanta, whose pronouns are also he, him. Nanta and Brux, his mount, his Corellian Hound mount. And Nanta's the Ewok hero. He's running around. He's getting into trouble, stirring up messes, and trying to sneak around a little bit, steal things or take things, and just overall cause trouble to bring down the Empire. And after we have a good meal.
Rich, you muted yourself.
Last but certainly not least is Cody.
Yeah, hey, what's up? I'm Cody. I use the he, him pronouns. I'm playing Oron, the Jedi, also he, him. Oron is a take on the elf playbook. Oron, he's trying to lead Darren away from this, what he feels is damnation. But after that conversation last week, he's more willing to kind of let the choice be made, I suppose. He's got to do what he's got to do to take down the Empire. He just hopes that folks like Darren aren't lost to the dark in the process. That's all you need to know.
Delightful. As I mentioned in the setup, you guys are in hyperspace. You're in hyperspace, traveling at light speed, and only moments ago, before you arrive in the particularly dangerous point near Zygeria, at the planet of Riven, in the system around Riven, where the Dominion's Claw can be found. This is the last supply before she travels back to Zygeria, where it will be a much, much more difficult task to take her out. You guys are about to come out of hyperspace. In fact, we know that Darren has not been piloting. So who is it that announces over the loudspeakers that you are near your destination and everyone should be prepared?
I believe Cherdal is the pilot.
Yeah, I think Chevelsa was captaining, though.
Oh,
But I'm gone.
oh, you're gone.
I dropped off.
that's
Dropped
right.
off the Queen, hopped in my ship, and had dipped.
That's
Because there
right.
was a thought that I didn't go with play when I was gone, but I'm still dipped.
Okay. Cherdal announces in Cherrywook, which I assume you have some kind of translator for everyone who doesn't speak it. And he says, please be advised. We are near our destination. Who is jumping into the turrets to be ready to go?
That's Zop's job.
All right. And what is it that we see or find Ewok doing? What is Nanta up to in these moments before the pitched battle?
Yeah, I think he's doing preparation in the loading dock area where I expect, something, we're going to be fighting hand to hand one way or the other. Either we're going over there or they're coming over here. So I think he's setting up like some booby traps here and maybe supplies to take over there.
what about Darren, who's been unavailable for some time?
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't Darren still like, at least as far like still locked up in his room, hasn't left? Uh Maybe has no idea this is going on.
So maybe the announcements of you hear this announcement and it brings you out of your reverie.
Do you think your sisters come to speak to you?
Well, yeah, I guess that is the one thing is I guess
Yeah, I like that.
because I think if she just knocked, and I think depending on what that flashback scene with the Sith holocron looks like or whatever was going on there, he might not even realize like that it was her speaking at the door. Like he was so wrapped up in whatever was going on there. Uh, so if no one got let in.
Well, she's going to let herself in. She has the codes.
Oh, okay.
So we hear the announcement from Jerdal with the translation, and then she this is Carabast. After trying to open and waiting politely, she just overrides it and enters your quarters. What does she find Darren doing?
Oh man. Uh yeah, I think this has been described before, but I think Darren is down to his like very little underclothes,
Nice.
and he is, yeah, laying in this like very large bed that's just in the middle of the room. But all like the blankets and stuff are all like kicked off, so it's just like the sheets and things like that, and it's him in almost like this fetal curl around the Sith holocron that's like, you know, something like that. Yeah, because sorry, I'm having trouble describing it because I don't know what happened in that like flashback scene. So I'm like, did he have a fight with it? Is he still in league with like it? Like, yeah, I don't think that's
Right.
so
The scene that we set up last time of your downtime, a flashback
yeah.
during the journey.
True, true, true. Maybe we should deal with that
That would be helpful
now
for me.
to a degree. Okay. Uh, of course, the holocron wants to continue to be your advisor. And I think the holocron is perfectly willing to help you on this quest. Your fellowship wants to kill the Zygarian Empire. You can take them to victory. You and I. They will need you.
Are you sure they'll need me? They didn't need me to do other things or even tell me about other things.
It's trivial. It takes a village. They can handle the more menial tasks. Your
But I
power.
I was not part of their village, or they would have they would have told me, Versi or Oron, they would have told me, or if they respected me, and the Zop wouldn't have just done that.
It's true. You need to show them your power. They need to learn how vital you are. I could reach out, if you wish. Let the Zygarians know the diligent spark is on its way. They'll be more prepared. They'll need you. They'll be coming to you on their hands and knees, Darren.
What would make you think that that is what I want?
You want them to respect you? If you're their hero, their savior, they'll be forced to admit how much you mean to them. didn't hear a no.
I never want to see the people I care about on their knees, sword at their necks again.
Hmm. And why are you letting them fight this battle?
We have no
Without
choices.
without you, that's where they will be.
And what of you?
I'm
Your
your loyal
choice.
servant. I help to educate you in the ways of the stillness. I hold within me the power of your planet at your disposal.
I think. Oh God, wait, sorry. I need to look at moves for a second. I'm trying to figure out if this is.
What do you want to do? We can
Yeah, I'm
figure
trying
it
to figure out. Sorry. I think I want to speak softly.
out. Okay.
You know, I think he's. Yeah, I think he's listening to this, and he's trying to sort of come to terms because a lot of it sounds good, but also, or maybe even a look closely. But he's starting to not trust his sense of understanding because he thought things were good with Oron and Versi, and then all this was hidden, but they always professed to like want to teach him, like very much like this Holocron, to teach him and show him things, but they were hiding so much. And so I think he's now looking somewhat similarly like if these two other people I trusted so greatly and believed in and professed to want the best for me were hiding things, what is your actual real motive here? What are you hiding? Yeah, so I think look closely, not speak softly. Which I think is not as good for me, but that's valid.
Yay! I like not as good for you.
Yeah, sense is my 0. Where is there it is, dice rolling. Darren von Vorlock, 2D say, flat. A 7.
Oh, a 7. That's just wonderful.
On a
With a
7
7,
plus. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
ask 3 questions from a list, but one of those answers you find the hard way.
I think I think almost just like very flatly, like just looking at the holocron, like what is going on here?
You're sensitive to it. Before it was soothing. But after your recent betrayal and your suspicions raised, realize that the holocron has its own plans for you, and that everything it's offering has a price.
Tell me about its plans that it has for me. How could it hurt me? How could it help me?
The holocron wants to turn you to the dark side. You're so very close, it can taste it. It will give you the power to take what you want, but the cost will be that what you love.
does Darren love? That seems nebulous and scary, and I love it, Rich.
Thank you.
Question. What will happen if I give in to the holocron?
You become more powerful than you have ever been.
But
And
at
you will
what cost?
lose your sense of self that got you to this point.
Oh yeah. So I think the perfect moment is this discussion is happening. Okay, now I know where we are. This discussion has happened. It's been like a lot of just like Darren and back and forth, like all that trip with him and the holocron back and forth, learning things, talking, coaxing, and like just right now we've just had this conversation, right?
Right.
And Darren hears like that last bit, and I think for a moment he goes to pull the like he's again on this giant bed, kind of semi curled around it as he's been through most of this trip. Like there's sweat on his brow, and he goes to like be like, yes, this is what I must do. And he goes to pull the holocron closer, and then he hears the sound of his sister's voice as she walks into the room, and his hands pause on it. Like they're not touching it, and it had just been about to grasp it to pull it in to be like, yes, do it. Uh, but then he hears his sister's voice, and she is in the room, and it startles him out of this almost entrancement that the holocron has kind of gotten him in.
She enters the room. Her nose wrinkles a bit. You've been stuck in here for a while, not leaving.
There's a and like it's such a petulant like teen boy answer. He's like, there's a blast dry cleaner over there. I've used it at least twice.
This isn't exactly the reunion I'd hoped for.
And I think in that moment he realized like, oh shit. And I think he like jumps off of the bed, like scrambles up, jumps off the bed, and like just envelops her in a not entirely probably fun for her, like sweaty, musty hug.
She gives into it. Okay, this was not, again, not the kind of hug she wanted, but it's the hug she gets. And she wraps an arm around you. Darren, we need you.
Right. Yes, I just a lot has happened. I think I need and his eyes kind of look over towards the bed where like the holocron is probably sitting there like glowing red.
Is that the stillness?
I think so. It's a little unclear, but it's of our people, but we weren't ready at the time. It would have endangered everyone if I had not taken it away.
Trust you. We're about to come out of hyperspace. We found no less intel. Cherdal is flying the ship, but
Right. Right. Just one moment. And I think he like rushes over like the blast thing, and he just like blast cleans them. And he goes to like put on clothing, and without like he's like still like half unaware as he's like pulling on his boots before he's put on any additional clothing. Like,
she, do you need some help?
maybe.
She goes over and slaps out your slacks, picks off a little bit of stuff.
What if I could make things right again, but it would cost of me?
Then things aren't right again. Here, put this on.
And he slips like the pants on. Would you be okay if I did that? I don't
Of course not.
want to leave you alone again.
I've answered your question. Why are you wasting my time?
Wait, what do you mean you answered?
If your sacrifice is required to make things right, they are not right. There is no future where you are gone that I find satisfactory.
I think he just starts crying.
We'll cut away from that. And the ship comes out of hyperspace. And I have a cool pick. And then we're going to go to our first break. Let me blow it up so it's nice and do. As the ship comes out of hyperspace, the Diligent Spark finds that you are facing the Dominion's Claw and several of Mining Guild TIE fighters. They are aware of your coming and are already firing upon you.
Mm.
So, with that, we will take our first break. Tyler, when Matron Chevalsa Henri's dipped in last session, where did she go? Did she go back to Dathomir? Did she go to some other place?
I was thinking of going back to Dathomir, yes.
Nice. You go back to Dathomir as if I remember, you had a pretty dope starship. As you're coming in, you see the obvious signs on the dusky landscape of the Dathomirian attempt to free itself from the clutches of the Empire. There are small skirmishes still taking place. You see smoke spiraling up into the crimson night as your ship comes. Where do you wish to land? Do you land somewhere near, say, Whisper, or near an old domain of yourself that you once held?
I'm trying to find like like one of the temples of the witches, of the Dathomiri witches.
Nice. Do you imagine that Chevalsa knows where they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I figured. Okay. So that's where you're headed. Cool. You do that. We have the eerie green glow inside one of the temples that happens to be located. You can see it between a couple of large crags of the red rock. Slide in, and you notice as you come closer to it, the power, as you remember it, was so powerful, it sang in the rocks. And now it's more like a low hum. You know that your sisters were killed long ago. Not all of them, because we need a video game and, other things to bring that, it's just like all the Jedi were killed, except not all the Jedi were killed.
Except the ones that were.
Yeah, we cleaned house, but we didn't take out all of them. We just left the cool ones. That said, many, many of your sisters were killed by Count Dooku and General Grievous in the massacre that took place on Dathomir. But still the power remained in Dathomir, calling to you. Now, you, of course, I would imagine, joined Warlord Zinj long after this betrayal by Count Dooku and the like. The power was still here. Only now do you notice it has diminished. It is fading.
And I'm kind of unaware of the binding. Zinj kept me in the dark on that.
I think he is smart enough to do that. Yes.
It was wise. I imagine a, like focal point to where, like a font of power or a central meeting area that would have connected us to the power of Dathomir, and I'm kind of making my way through that, towards that. What my intent is to try and connect with that energy, and before I knew it was all weakened up,
Mhm.
kind of get a feel for. I want to use it to try to read what Dathomir needs at this moment. Is what I
Nice.
was trying to come to.
Do
Yes.
you have a playbook specific move that you are angling toward?
Let me check real quick on a here. I think I'm probably looking at it. Look closely. I don't think I can
Yeah, I
do.
wasn't sure if you had a playbook, but definitely look closely.
Yeah, I
It
don't
seems
think I
appropriate here.
quite can do by uh uh speak harshly to the power.
All right. Then please look closely.
All right, so that's rolling with sense. I have a +1. Oh, terrible. I failed horribly.
Did you now?
I did, Rich. I did.
Don't
Oh
sound
my.
excited.
What? No, I'm not excited. I'm elated. That's different.
So I can ask one question. Anyone can answer, but the Empire has the final say. And obviously, I have the lowest sense. The question I'm going to ask is, what will happen if I try to reform the witches? If I try to bring back the sisterhood, not the sisterhood of the night witches, but the, re- reform the witches councils.
Hmm. So we see Matron Chevalza communing. Perhaps you approach this area where the council once stood in unity. You see where it has been destroyed, that the great cauldron has cracked. You summon the power of the witches, the wisdom, and instead of the bright glow of their energy, there is only flickering. And you see the Night Mother. She regards you. See her very, you can see through her. You can see the rock behind her, which you've never noticed before. Halzen says, "Done, my sister. Too much has been taken. Our marrow has been stolen by that pretend imp, the warlord. Who you allied with as you turned a blind eye on our home. It was pillaged. We lie fallow now when you could have saved our memories.
I did to try and protect our home.
You were protecting our home when you traveled to Vorlon to place the Empire's grasp around it? How did that benefit your sisters?
If I could have. There's nothing left within me but regrets. I have no answers.
Good. We no longer exist for your justification for selfishness, Chevalsa. We fade. And we will pass on. And this will be a dead world. But it will have your name upon it. Your only path, Chevalsa. If ever you were one of us, is vengeance. She slowly begins to fade. I curse that my last words are with you.
I think there's a moment that I stand there and then just sort of do the twirl with the mass of fabric and stalk out.
Nice. And then we see your beloved Rancor slowly lumber after you. Looks a little sheepish. Sweet. Then we come back to large John Williams-like score of excitement as the Diligent Spark takes damage because they were waiting for you. These TIE fighters are flown by very skilled pilots, and the Dominion's Claw is festooned with turbo lasers that they have opened a barrage upon you. And unfortunately, Cherdal is not perhaps the best pilot for such an action. So I believe that I am just doing a thing of doing some damage to you guys. So
No, that's not allowed. You can't just do
There
that.
is
I
a
think
so if the
you're-
ship tries to avoid harm, the engineer, our ping droid, who rolls +1 because they're notable, probably because they're ping, rolls +1. So somebody can roll for the ping droid.
Okay.
It's got to be you, Greg. I mean, you're the
Yeah,
ping spokesman.
I figured I was about to shoot some lasers back, so if somebody else wanted to roll.
Yeah, somebody else roll for the engineer. Tyler, since you're not physically present, you are now the ping droid.
Perfect.
Oh, wow.
Actually,
My
none of you are
great
physically
roll so
present,
far.
but Matron Chevalsa is not here either. So
Yeah, I don't know what that 3 we got last time.
Oh my. It's got all the bad juju out of the system, guys. It's how it works.
All right, rolling +1.
Oh, look at that.
When you outmaneuver or outrun an enemy pursuing, maneuvering through, escape from, rush past. So I think you've got to try to escape some of the current danger. You're trying to get away. But I think what it is just the engineer is goosing the power to the diligent spark in hopes of allowing you to not take a significant amount of damage. Because when you're going to take damage, your crew would take damage. But you were successful with run away, which is a basic move. So let's take a look at that one real quick. You gotta get away, sorry. 10 plus, choose 2. You get there quickly, you get there quietly, you grab someone nearby and bring them with you. That is weird for a ship to do, but
I
let's
think
see.
I think we're rolling hull holding. The ship tries to
Oh,
avoid harm. The engineer must roll to overcome
that's
that harm.
better. Thank you.
On a 7 plus, the ship continues to function a little longer as long as the engineer keeps things under control.
Okay, cool. So, boom, boom, boom. There's some explosions. We have a Wilhelm scream with a random person we've only seen in the background thrown to the floor roughly. And the engineer is keeping things together. Stephen, you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I have a proposal. I think we have a flashback. I'm going to propose a plan that will bypass all of this and get the rest of y'all on the ship. Okay. So I was looking over the ship. We haven't used the ship a lot. It doesn't have a lot of good, turrets and guns and all that kind of stuff.
Nope.
But what it does have is escape pods. So I say we launch both escape pods. One use of that allows the rest of you to all get on the other ship. It's as if you rolled get away with a 10 plus, so you could get there quietly and without taking any damage. The other escape pod I take, and I keep them busy, and I can keep the TIE fighters and everything off of your back while y'all do whatever you want to on the ship. That's my proposal.
That's the most Nanta plan I've ever heard, and I'm all for it.
And something to keep in mind, when I left, I provided 1 weakness for
Yes, you
a
did.
minion. So there is somewhere in the course of this a problem you can just solve because Chevalza gave you something, a weakness of their plan.
Yeah, that's a wild plan, Stephen. I like it because of that. I don't know how well it'll work. I think keeping ties busy in an escape pod is probably going to be pretty hard for you. So I worry about that personally. But
I think the way we see this on screen is this is just as Darren is stumbling out of his room.
We all got into escape pods without him. No.
Who grabs Darren and throws him in an escape pod? Is it
either me or
Oron?
Cherdal? It'd be either me or Cherdal. Cherdal's, the bodyguard. Me, if I'm close.
I think Cherdal is needed to pilot our ship.
So we're leaving Cherdal. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Cherdal has to help me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
True.
So yeah, I guess as the ship's getting rocked by turbo laser fire, Darren, do you step out of your room with your sister and come to see what the ruckus is all about?
Yeah, I guess. I think we left stuff off. He started crying in his sister's arms.
Yes. Maybe we see you just barely collecting yourself when the ship is rocked by several explosions.
Oh, he doesn't even get they don't talk. He just and he grabs the holocron and they don't get the chance.
Sprightly. Mm-hmm.
It's grabbed by Oron.
Yeah, so the door opens and Oron sees Darren and the queen, right? She's the queen now. And he's just Darren Prince, Queen, Your Highness, it is good to see you. We are making moves to the escape pods. Nanta has had a wonderful plan. We'll be boarding the enemy vessel in no time. Right this way.
And I think Oron, it's Darren looks so young right now. He really looks like his like 18, 19. Like it's he was crying a second ago, and like as much as he's tried to like bluster himself and like come out, like he looks like a crying kid. Or a kid that was just crying as he's
Mhm.
like, and you see like the holocron's not baby Bjorn, it's just like sort of clipped onto his side.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, chin up, Prince. We need your alert for what's about to happen. I'm sorry your reunion has been interrupted. That's perhaps in a moment we can have a more peaceful conversation.
Right, duty first.
As it always is, unfortunately.
Be safe, sister.
We're abandoning this ship.
Not all of us. Cherdal, Ping, and yourself, if you wish, will stay behind, keeping the ties tied up. We are going to board the enemy vessel, the Dominion's Claw, and we're going to take out the Queen. This will free Zygeria from the clutches of Zinja's empire, and it will crumble beneath him. Victory is at hand.
Go, brother. Go with Oron.
Yes. Be
Nudges
safe.
you.
Yeah, and
Nice.
he goes with Oron.
Oron, yeah, reaches out, puts his hand on your shoulder, says, "Come, we will need all of us to be working together to win the day."
And for a moment, I think you see like that anger that had been on his face, and it looks as if he might like buck your hand off, but then his shoulders kind of give, and he lets you steer him.
Said Darren. So we know when they're very emotional, they turn gold. Is it the
Yeah.
same for sadness? Is that an emotion that turns them gold, or do they shift to a different hue?
I think I always thought everything was gold, but
Yeah, emotion. Yeah, I like the idea. Like regular, you turn gold when you're heavily affected by emotion, whether happiness or sadness. I can be down with
yeah.
that.
Happy, sad, anger. Yeah, because the whole thing is like the stillness is like being calm and not letting your emotions overrun you. And it's any heightened emotion. So yeah, Darren's pretty gold right now. In fact, Darren might be as gold as he was the moment he struck down Taryn Malko.
Nice, nice. Terra Malikos was the last time you've been this gold. Awesome. Nanta, you've hatched this very interesting plan. Let us see how things go. So we see a thing with the Diligent Spark being an older Republic ship. I don't think she's made for deft maneuvers. She's no aluminum falcon. But she has some shields. She has some cannons. Zop, are you going with or are you staying on the turrets?
Oh no, I'm going with in the escape pod.
Okay. So you're
And
part
I've
of this.
filled it with guns. It's just like can't barely move, but for guns in the escape pod.
That's great. Uh very brief aside, but in Fallout, like every scene in one particular episode, whatever the Brotherhood were pictured, there were just belts of bullets just off to the side, just casually, like, oh, what are you going to do with that belt of bullets? Put it by the other belt of bullets. So many bullets. It was insane. Very amusing thing I noticed during that. And that's what Zop has done. It's just piles and piles of guns. Cool.
I think Oron brings Darren and steps into the escape pod, sees Zop's pile of blasters and detonators and whatnot, and Oron doesn't have a weapon right now, so he's going to take one of the smaller blasters and kind of, all right then.
Nice. No lightsaber is just so crazy. Sweet. The escape pods are shot out into the inky black of space. The TIE fighter shifts past you guys. Is it gonna take a pot shot at you? Perhaps you are trying to get to somewhere. You need to get somewhere 2? Yeah, tell us where you're going
These
and roll grace.
Yep, the escape pods I think whenever you mark them off, they give you a go to with at a 10, right? Yeah.
Someone can spend 1 use of each of the escape pods to get away from the ship as if they rolled a 10 plus. Wow. Each escape pod can hold a number of people equal to your maximum crew stat. Your maximum crew stat is 9?
9. Yeah.
Wow. That's delightful.
So
You 10 plus. That's crazy.
so I think where we are here is whether or not I can keep the ties off of them with my keep them busy, with my distraction.
Okay. Then let's see if you do that. What is your distraction?
So I think the ping droid and I have been modifying one of the escape pods, and that's what this looks like. And what we've done is we've modified it so it has like a transponder, so it looks like a another fighter ship, one that would be seriously a problem. And I think whenever we drop out, this one escape pod that I'm piloting, it's the one that looks like it's going to be the most dangerous. So I want to draw their attention to me.
Oh, goodness.
Sound good?
That sounds dangerous. I love it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna roll keep them busy. And that is a 9 plus 3 is 12. Because I think this is a little heroic.
Fair. Yeah, this is certainly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Nanta's doing it, so it is a little heroic.
Yeah.
Ah,
And I can
you made a
buy
joke
some
about his
time.
size because he's an Ewok.
Yeah,
Little-
I'll see
yes.
myself out.
I can buy some time and their attention's on me. And my sting like a bee, which I can do whenever I keep them busy, lets me steal something from them and get them to chase me around, and we leave the scene.
That's amazing.
So I think what this looks like is I hit this afterburner that the ping droid installed, but I wasn't exactly sure like what this would look like. And this is like a jet rocket, right? And we hear the Ewok scream, and it just speeds around the place so fast that like the other ties can't get a look at it. To visually to see what it is, they have to trust their computers that says it's this really badass starfighter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Talon 1, Talon 2, break off. Get that starfighter. Obviously, the queen is aboard. They're taking off after you. Yeah, burns like a souped up A-wing. That's slick. I love that. And as they go away, you see that Noles's Dominion's claw is just unloading a barrage on the Diligent Spark, and the Diligent Spark is trying to use its shields and angle the shields just perfectly, but it's taking damage. And who is piloting the escape pod upon which Zop and Darren and Oron?
Zop will take the controls. And I think we're sort of floating to like we're trying to be an attractive target here. I mean, the Zygarians are a bunch of terrible slavers, so I'm expecting that they might just tractor beam us as a result of that 10 plus to bring us on board.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you guys are heading out, and there's not much like
I'm piloting as best as I can, but
there's
that's not
literally
very
no
good.
piloting. You just like I'm trying to get in the and then everything freezes. You feel the pull as it's quickly tractor beaming you into one of the hangars, and the hangar bay actually opens up. It was closed because they were entering combat and the TIE fighters were already out, but it opens up with the huge doors opening up, and we see the little egg like escape pod with this three engines at the back in the old Republic style and is brought in, and there's a squad of Zygarians with their little pain whips, not little, pain whips and blasters. They are surrounding you guys, and the doors are shutting closed. What is it that you we cut? You guys have just a few moments before the escape pod sets on the hangar floor. Darren has been emotional, Oron. He is bright gold. What do you do?
I think as Zop is piloting, I kind of attempt to go over some of the breathing exercises that Darren Oren has long taught Darren, right? He's what we're about to get into is going to be difficult, dangerous situation. We need to have our wits about us. We need to center ourselves. Darren, can you do that?
Yes.
All right. Breathe with me. And then Oren just kind of holds his hands out so Darren can take his hands. Takes a
And
deep breath.
I think he slips one of his hands into yours, and you notice he goes to kind of bring the other hand to yours, and it's shaking.
Yeah, if it's shaking, Oron, reaches out and grabs it firmly, and he looks Darren right in the eyes. He says, "Your sister's going to be okay. We are all going to be okay. We are going to defeat the Empire."
Yes. Yes, we're going to defeat the Empire. And his eyes kind of look towards the hollow crown for a moment, clipped at his side.
Breathe with me, Darren. Let's find our center so that we can act clearly and focused.
Yes, breathe as he asks. Give him some solace. Help him to understand how much you mean to the success of this crazed mission.
And you see like Darren's eyes quickly like sit shut, but it's not like he's trying to take those calming breaths, but his breath is quickened and it's almost like a bit hyperventilating. And the way his eyes are squeezed seems pain, and like you see him like almost tilt his head back and forth for a second, like he's trying to shake something.
Can I attempt to use one of my elder arts here? I kind of want to use sleep tight, as I've already used it. I'd have to mark something else, and it just puts somebody to sleep, and then anything normal would awaken them. I think Oron wants to reach out and use that kind of power to calm Darren.
Interesting. Glance at that one. Sleep tight. Oh, cool, cool, cool.
I suppose I could also just use a way with words. I could speak softly, or something else. But I think this kind of perception of this being a almost hyperventilating, it's like words aren't necessary right now. It needs to be almost a physical kind of calming.
Cool. So I think, sorry, just remind me, you just do the thing. There's no roll to it, or there is a roll?
For the Elder Arts, when you draw upon the force, choose a spell from below, mark it, and then it goes. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But I do
just
have to
wanted-
mark it, and I believe because I have I have a thing that lets me mark a different move. I thought, maybe I don't have that. Maybe Elder Might. Yeah, Elder Might. When you use an Elder Art you already have marked, you may do so by marking a different Elder Art. So I will mark when cornered while damage my attacks are dangerous. I'll mark that instead so that I could use Sleep Tight again.
Cool. Darren, you
Yes.
feel those emotions pulled away. Oron's presence calms them. You actually catch yourself yawning for a second, but you're able to shake that off.
Yeah, I think yeah, he yawns for a second and like he loses a bit of his footing, and I think his head kind of ends up like he trips a bit and he, you're holding his hands, and so his body kind of leans into yours, and for a second his head is on your shoulder, and it reminds Oron of when the few times he's gotten to be with Matos and he was able to like rock his child to comfort or to sleep.
As Darren drifts off, he hears Zop beginning to sing. As Zop begins to sing a Rhodian opera, as they are to lull the Zygarians closer to the escape pod.
Nice. You see that Nola Sintel is not here. She's a queen. She has more important things to do than go get new slaves. But she has sent a younger sister, and the younger sister is obviously like in charge, quote marks. And she says, "Blasters to stun. This will be very valuable." And I can't help myself. So she doesn't even have a weapon herself. This is what she looks like. She's got these weird freaking birds.
Worms.
Do we count the last session as a refresh? Do we get to refresh our abilities?
Think we did. That feels right to me.
Didn't y'all do a recover thing? And you
Yeah,
got
I thought you
to
did
advance your
recover.
stuff?
Okay, cool. Then I'm good because I need my smell danger here. Zop has his scatter gun that he stole from that bounty hunter pressed up against the entrance to the escape pod. So as they go to open up, he just opens fire through the hatch.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. That is super dope.
Singing
then-
Rhodian opera the entire time.
Yes, I love that you brought that in. Do it. I think you are trying to overcome these guys, right?
Yeah, I think well, I'm just gonna expend the whole blaster. I'm just gonna empty it to roll finish them.
Do it. That's wild.
Yeah, it breaks the weapon, roll finish them, even if I don't have advantage. All right, so that's 2d6 plus blood, which is 2. Just make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, all right. That's a 12.
Well. That is more than enough to finish them. Describe to us what it looks. So you rolled with blood, right? So they die by your hand.
Yeah,
But describe to us what does that look like?
So she comes closer to the hatch, and in true Star Wars fashion, we're not going to show too much gore, except
course.
maybe a dismembered arm. And the camera like pans through the hatch to Zop's face. He's waiting there with the gun, and we just see flash after flash from the rifle going off, and Zop's like blank eyes as Darren wakes up behind him to the incredibly loud noises that would wake up any sleeping person. And possibly Oron's horrified face. I'm not sure.
Oran's keeping it together.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yes. We're so
Can I
heartless.
do an interstitial thing real quick?
Uh-huh.
We see Cheval's ship come out of hyperspace around Sereno and the fleet.
Woohoo.
And I think we just see a transport heading down to the planet. Ship back
Nice.
to the battle.
Yeah, and I think the transport, there's like an honor guard of a couple of TIE advanced fighters that are on either side of Matron Cheval's the Henri's. I love that. That's good. Sweet. So let's cut back to Nanta. You realize that this escape pod has effectively lured away 2 TIE fighters, but also this is an escape pod with an incredibly powerful rocket engine and not a lot of fuel. What do you do?
I think I will. Huh. So the TIE fighters are screaming after me, and I think I take the escape pod to its full limits until it basically runs out of power. And then I think there's an oversized spacesuit in here. And I open the door and it sucks me out. And I think I let them blow up uh
Ah.
the ship.
I got him! No, no, no. Well, no, that was a team effort, Talon 2. Don't get cocky.
So I can steal from them, or I could ask a question, and they don't notice until they need it or they taunt me with it. Could I use that to attach myself to one of them?
Yes. So I imagine you have like a little tow cable type thing, right?
Magnet. Yeah, like we
and
saw
it-
in The Empire Strikes Back, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
perfect.
You
Okay.
click to one of the wings, right? And you start it doesn't even notice you. You get swung around for a little bit like a yo-yo, but then you're continually coming closer, 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 holding on, and the fingers of this oversized, like human-sized, it doesn't quite fit, but you were able to hold on. You see a little
It flops
Ewok
around, so I'm
head.
kind of like wearing mittens. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's so much physical comedy I see in this thing of you getting flowed through space and reeling yourself closer to a TIE fighter. That's amazing. We cut to Oron, Darren, and Zop Boots. Zop, where have you led them? Like, are you headed directly to the bridge where you know the queen would be?
We know we have a weakness. I was going to pitch. Maybe we know of a turbo lift that goes right towards the queen's quarters, like it's a private
There you
elevator.
go. I love that. That's
I
great.
was going to say I have not actually used my bounty hunting move yet, which is Bloodhound. But
Can we make that work here?
when you track someone whose trail isn't cold, roll plus blood. And I find them quickly.
Oh
And they
shit,
don't
here we
know they
go.
were
We
followed.
pick up with you guys coming up the turbo lift onto the bridge. Zop fires and you kill several of them, and among them, you do not find the queen.
Wait, right.
She has left. You're able to stop, and at this point, the ship is no longer firing on the Diligent Spark. But Queen Nola Sintel is giving you the slip. No one could find her. Her trail is still warm, but only a great bounty hunter could find her, or a Jedi, or someone who's got a
Or
Sith
some- yeah,
holocron
God.
and is powered in the stillness. But probably just the bounty hunter.
Zop starts punching stuff into the console and is trying to going back through the logs, figuring out what the hell has happened here. I'll roll plus blood.
Nice.
That's an 8.
8.
On a 7 to 9, I get to choose one. I will find them quickly. They will know that they have been found out, though. That's more important to me.
Nice.
So where is she hiding in her own ship?
Oh, sweet. Yeah, you see that not the main hangar doors where you guys were, the escape pod was brought in, but there is a place where her private shuttle is located in a hidden hangar, and you find that she's already entered the code to open the doors. I think it's a starfighter,
Yeah.
right? Like
She's like, oh, okay. Yeah, so it's not like something we can board with her. We have to stop her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I think seeing it's a starfighter, I think Oron looks for some sort of controls to stop a hangar from opening or, preventing a lift off of some kind.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
I suppose that would be a move, right?
Yeah.
Let's do. Um, is it a look closely? I don't see. There's not something that's like.
No, I mean you're doing something.
Yeah.
So I think it could be overcome. Hey, Tyler, any suggestions for a basic move for them trying to circumvent someone escaping? You will be the one escaping.
Oh, probably overcome.
Okay.
Cool.
Overcome's a very mini purpose move. Yep.
Cool. And then I determine the stat based off what I'm doing. So I'll use overcome with, I think, sense, because I'm attempting to find a control panel to jam, essentially.
Okay.
Does that
She's
sound
about
good?
to escape. What's that? What is going to do? She's about to escape.
All right. I got an 8.
Nice.
Ooh, an 8 on overcome.
Pay a price to take the 10 plus result or create a temporary solution. A temporary solution will delay the threat, but when time is up, it'll be back and forth the overload until you win. I think I will take the temporary solution. I think the temporary solution delays the threat. So I've jammed it, but we need to still get a hold of her, right?
Yes. Yes. So you've jammed it at this point. Maybe the doors are partially open and are not opening any further. There's a moment where she's a little surprised by that and she curses Carabast. And she's going to her plan is fire up the engines and she's going to try to swoop around, gather enough speed to where she could just turn sideways and go through the very narrow door. Darren, what are you doing? They're trying to stop the egress of the queen.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, as Darren's kind of looking at this and trying to figure out what to do, I think okay. So this is where Kay doesn't understand ships. And so I apologize if this makes no sense. And if this is not okay, we can rewind this. But I think Darren pulls out the Beskar sword and goes to like leap to the front like window of it, and like if he can drop the sword into it and shatter it and get inside.
Okay. So your plan is this thing is flying is to try to time a jump as you guys come into the hangar. You're gonna try to time a jump to jump straight towards the front view screen.
Mhm.
That sounds very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
I think success or failure, you're going to be taking some damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you will have to damage one of your stats, regardless of outcome. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
All right. So this may be also an overcome.
Yeah. I think this is an overcome with courage.
Pretty courageous, yeah. I like it.
All right. Let's see. A 10.
Okay. With a 10, you do the thing. You rush forward away from Oron and leap. Your Beskar sword pierces the that's the Dursteel. It's like plastisteel, I think. What is it? Transparent steel. That
Yeah.
Cody?
Plasteel and transparent steel are all legit. So
Okay.
transparent steel is probably what you're looking for.
Transparent steel screen and crash directly into Queen Sintel. She tries to twist you over, but she's in a cockpit. She's just trying to keep you from slicing into her. And the ship, it was going straight for her. So she had started to turn it, and I think it goes out into space, and the little nubby wings are sheared off completely. The thing takes damage and is hurtling forward. That's where you need to mark a stat. And you are in an incredibly dangerous environment. This thing is already starting to vent.
Yeah, so I think I marked courage
Okay.
because that's what I used. And I would love to activate parry counter thrust. When you fight an enemy one-on-one in melee range, you may keep them busy as if you rolled a 10 plus.
Nice. She is not going to be able to do much to you. Lovely. So you can keep her busy as if you rolled a 10 plus, which means their attention is all on you for now. Yeah, that sounds appropriate. Hey, Zop, the trail's still warm, but it's out there, which is pretty cold.
So she's outside the ship now.
Yes.
Okay.
That did
Are
that
there
rob
any?
too much here? Is that
No.
okay?
That's
Okay.
great. No. We found her. And then Darren did some pretty major damage. Is there any other ships?
Ooh. Yeah. I think there is a ship. Cody, what kind of ship would they have in the personal hangar of the Queen?
You know, there's got to be a Z95 headhunter, right?
Oh,
That's just like
fun.
a classic.
Classic.
Those things are litter in the outer rim.
It's true. Everybody has one. It's like the Yugo of no, it's not the Yugo. That is what is there.
Yeah, Zop will climb into the cockpit. He's flipping all the switches, pressing all the buttons. Oron, open the hangar, and like as the canopy comes down.
Yeah, Oron sees what's happening. He undoes what he's done to jam the doors up. He wants to open them up wider. I'm not sure Oron knows how good of a pilot Zop is, so he wants to make sure there's plenty of room, and he sets that kind of to go. Is Darren out in space currently, attached to the sword, attached to the cockpit, or did Darren fall away?
I think Darren is in the ship itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after Oron kind of jams those controls and gets the doors opening, he wants to run to Darren and pull out his healing alien wine to take care of him.
Okay. Does that jive with where your head's at on where you think Darren is? Do you think Darren is rescuable at this point? Okay.
I was under the impression that he was like in combat with the Zygerian, but to keep them busy. But I'm also totally open to let him be snatchable so Oron can heal him and then Zop can blow up the Zygerian.
Yeah, let's do that. So you were thrown clear. You kept her busy, but then fell off after having taken damage to your courage. And she is out in space now, trying to maneuver this starfighter, which is in rough shape because the wings have been sheared off. And what does our cold and cruel bounty hunter do? You are definitely set up to finish them if that is what you so wish.
Oh. Trying to think. Um, I want like to reach out to Chevalsa in some way. Um, guess yeah. I'll roll finisher.
Okay. Let's see how it goes.
And I think it's yeah. Okay, we'll see how it goes.
You need to pay a price.
I don't. I
Oh, you
am a
gotta not
threat
have
to the
to.
world.
Oh. Oh, well, you
Uh,
still with a finish have to pay a price. It's not because they're a threat to the world.
oh, you have to pay a
Oh,
price to
cool.
finish them no matter what?
Because
Yeah.
they're a threat to the world as well.
No, not because they're a threat to the world.
Oh,
Finish them. If you finish them using a weapon with ammo, you hang on, sorry. Let's see where it is. I just had it up there. Now I can't find it.
I hold advantage on them. If you don't have an advantage,
have
then
an
you cannot
advantage.
attempt. I do.
When you have an advantage over an enemy and you want to cause harm, you may pay a price and lose this advantage to deal damage to them.
nice.
Strike from it. Oh, that's an optional. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. Been rolling it wrong the whole time if that was true. All right, here we go. 2d6 plus blood. Well, okay. What are the other options? Sorry, I'm taking up a lot of time here.
Greg, I don't know why you're highlighting get away. You certainly aren't getting away right now, my guy.
Well, I could roll with Grace, and that would basically immobilize her.
Does that do anything vis-a-vis or like can you roll with grace? Can you not kill with your new playbook?
Oh. Oh yeah, when I get to kill somebody, you are filled with hope. That's true too. Okay. Yeah, we'll just kill her. She explodes. Rolling with hope, 3d6 plus 2. She's not. I was kind of like the angle of like how can we use her to get closer to Zinj?
Here's how: by ending her reign.
Like, here we go. 3d6.
Oh my goodness, Greg.
That's a 6.
Oh,
That's
Stop,
impressive.
folks.
You lose advantage. You must face retaliation.
I should have killed her myself, Darren thinks.
Darren does think that. Sweet. So
amazing.
you're coming in
Is
on the
the-
Z95 Headhunter. Yeah.
Is the Z95 booby trapped or something?
Oh yeah, that's gotta be it. That's a great suggestion. I can't say no to that. I think it's a thing of you get tone, you pull, but she notices that you're on her radar and she flicks a switch and yeah, I think that the ship explodes.
Oh,
What?
So we cut to Matron Chevalsa. You have come down to Karania City, the cyberpunk Star Wars setting. And I just imagine Warlord Zinj is the kind of person in like a stupid big tower, right?
I'm not trying to get to him.
Oh, what are you trying to get to?
I'm trying to get to one of his officers at Intel. Probably the head of Intel.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. They would not fetter that. You are one of their last trusted advisors or lieutenants.
So if I head into the office, and as I move in, I think, sitting at a desk, maybe, and I motion, the desk goes sliding out from in front of him, and I motion and lift him up, and I'm going to try and speak harshly to him.
Well, he did not expect that. He already had pulled out like a little bit of brandy from his desk and had a cup, and he thought, oh, we're going to have a some kind of chat, and I'm at equal power to you because I'm the intelligence officer, and then boom, it is very different. Yeah, so speak harshly. Let's
All
see how
right,
that
so
goes.
rolling 2d6 plus 3. It's a 9, which that could have been a little better. Means he gets to lie to me with one of his answers if he
Mm-hmm.
so chooses.
So this is
Uh,
force choking and everything kind of moment
I'm
here.
just holding him up. I'm not trying
Okay.
to
Okay.
choke him at the moment. So my question.
No, it's not choking, but I just want to do the sound. All right.
Yes. Terran Malagos was on Dathomir. His mission there. What did he take?
He, he, you don't know? He took the spirit energy. He said that it would be a bio-engineered weapon, powerful to use against this pitiful republic.
It was brought here.
No. It's already been sent. To Coruscant. Cap never survive.
I think I let him down. It is unfortunate I did not know of this earlier.
It was Zinja's orders. I'm sorry, protocol. You know that if I could have, I would have shared with you. But you can share in the victory.
Yes. Yes. All glory to the Empire.
Does Zinj know that you are here? I can inform him.
Zinch knows all, does he not?
Of course.
In fact, and I will move up closer. It would be best if you not tell him at all. And I reach up a hand towards his face, and lightning arcs out into him.
Oh, you finished? You take him? He's
Yeah.
done? Okay. Yeah, that's easy.
And I turn in a swirl, and as I hit the door, I just vanish. I'm doing my hide in plain sight.
Some stormtroopers show up, right? His burning flesh sets off a few alarms. What are you doing next?
That son of a bitch. Um, I'm I'm moving back. I'm going after Zinj by myself at this moment is foolish, and I realize that despite my anger. So I'm moving first to a communications terminal.
Okay.
And I send a broad range message out towards my rough estimation of where the fellowship is. And send them the information that that Zinch is striking at Coruscant.
Nice.
Um,
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then I'm heading back to my ship and getting the fuck off this planet. I will be back.
Sweet. Darren and Oron. You witness the Z-95 headhunter exploding in space.
Yeah. It, is Zop dead? Is that what's happening right here?
Zop is in a ship that has exploded.
Okay. I'm going to ask a single question about my surroundings and immediately receive a truthful answer. I'm using my keen senses. That means, Rich, Overlord, you have to answer me truthfully.
Mhm.
Can I save Zop?
Oh, can you save Zop? The answer is yes. You could save Zop.
Okay. I'm going to look at Darren and just speak telepathically, just all this information at once. Zop needs our help. We need to reach out. Together we are stronger. Help me save him.
I can help you, Darren. We can save Zop Books if that's what you want.
And I think you said you were talking to me telepathically.
It was like words and feelings and emotions and thought all at once. Oron's like in such a rush to get this to happen that he needs you to understand what he understood through the Force. So it was kind of like, it's overwhelming, honestly, but yes, telepathically as well.
And I think in that overwhelming moment, as it's connected, and Darren, who knows the Force and the stillness but doesn't know, and I think you hear that voice, Oron, and you hear that offer spoken in the voice of Matos.
Don't listen to that voice, Darren. Listen to me. Together, you and I can do this. But we do not have much time. You need to choose now what you're going to do.
Sorry, I need to see if there's some internal conflict-based role that I can do here.
There's no hearts of woodland move here. You have to actually act as your character and make a
I have
choice.
to make choices. Yeah, I think, I think Darren, Darren takes Oron's hand.
Awesome. Oron squeezes it tightly. And then I think the way I want to attempt this, I want to attempt to overcome. When you attempt to avoid, redirect, or prevent harm, something will cause, I think, rolling the appropriate stat. We've used Grace and Sense as kind of the big ones. I think Grace is the one for the Jedi playbook. So either of those I'd be happy with.
Grace
but
feels right.
yeah, so if Darren and I acting in concert, reaching out just to grab Zop from space, essentially. He's in this explosion. He's going to get burnt up. He's going to get blasted. But it's like the only thing I can think to do this fast is just grab him and pull. Is this rolling with hope? Because I have a bond with Darren. I have taught Darren the ways of the Force.
Does Darren have a bond with
Back? Oh, no, I don't think he
No,
does
we
anymore.
didn't get a chance to redo our bond.
All right. Love it. So who should roll for this one?
I think you're
That
the
means
leader
despair.
Here. Oh, yeah.
It's despair? Oh, nasty. I love it. Okay. All
I
right.
think
all right.
you should roll for it because my grace is damaged.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So I'm rolling with grace and it's with despair. +2. It's okay. I'm gonna get it's gonna be nuts because I'm gonna get 3 6s. That's gonna be the crazy thing. Is we're all gonna watch it and it's gonna be 3 6s and Greg's
Well,
gonna be
hold
alive
on.
forever.
I need to put that on screen. These 3 6s you've called. You're calling your shot. I love it.
All right. So I have it 3 6s +2. Oh, not bad,
Wow!
baby. Not bad, Rich.
That is
What you
a-
gonna do about it?
Yeah.
That is a 10. That is a
Let's
10.
go. Woo!
Wow. So Zop, please play a pipe. Please pay a price. Wow, I should have queued that up on my brain.
Pay a
before I
price.
Yeah, you got to pay a price because you just got
Okay.
blowed up.
I can I narrate a little bit of this?
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
So I think we see Zop, and it's like the slow motion explosion happening with the Rhodian opera overture going on. And I will pay the price by losing my arm again. Or well, let me
You
think
lost
about
your arm
that.
last week.
I did lose my arm last week. Hold on. That no. Okay. Well, maybe this is I don't know. It's making you move and paying your price. So I'm in the slow motion explosion, and in front of my face, we see little Falkine squirming up in the explosion. And I reach out as I'm being pulled backwards, and I can't get to it. But I'm going to enact Little Falkine's clever plan because we see Zop in slow motion being pulled back into the ship and Falkine being pulled forward by the explosion. And then smash cut back to Falkine as it goes into the ship with her
Queen no less Intel.
the person I could never remember. Thank you. Queen Nolis. And
It's a very weird name.
slips through the force field that's gone up to cover her thing. So little Falkine is now in there with her.
Nasty. Nasty.
Somewhere in the background, I think we see Nanta attached to a TIE fighter.
Yes, Nanta's been strung up for a long time. Nanta, you've reeled yourself up to this TIE fighter. What would you like to do?
Oh, I was just to be honest, I was thinking I would just write it in whenever they come back to the hangar. But now's a good time for me to I think I'm going to start working on the lock on the the port on the top of the TIE fighter to see if I can just open it.
Cool. Give me an overcome.
Overcome. That's what would that be with? Probably sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. That's kind of the thoughty kind of thing. And I'm not gonna roll this with hope. Just because. Oh, that's only a 3.
Oh my. I think
So I
you
think
are
on screen we definitely see the trooper inside noticing something, some noises.
Yeah, some noises, reaches for a blaster pistol that he's got, and when you open up the hatch, he fires on you and hits you. Which, number one, mark a stat from the harm. Number two, it's going to put a hole in your not rated for blaster proof suit, so you're got to do something immediately.
Yeah.
You can already feel the icy tendrils of empty space. This guy, of course, TIE fighter. He's got the helmet. He's good. He's fine. He's going to fire on you again. What do you do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to overcome him again.
He's screaming in his helmet. There's some kind of teddy bear outside of my
And I think I'm going to just try to attack him. And let's see what that looks like. So this is just an all-out fight, and that would overcome is the fight
Yes.
move, right?
Finish them.
Yes. Well,
Well-
finish them. Yeah. Yeah. This guy isn't like a threat to the world or anything. Yeah. You could finish them. He's a TIE fighter pilot.
Right. So then let me try and finish him, and I will roll that with blood. And I think this is something that needs heroic. So that is an 11.
That is amazing. Wow.
And I think, yeah. And with blood, they die by your hand. I think what this looks like is I tear into the, basically, this suit's too big for me, so it's kind of flopping around. And it would have been probably a fatal shot if it hadn't been for the fact that I'm smaller than that actual suit is. And I get inside, and he's like, trying to fend me off, but not expecting someone as small as I am. Like, is grabbing empty suit. And I think that's whenever what I have. I probably wouldn't have a pistol. I would have some tools. Oh no, the magnetic harpoon gun. That's whenever I pull the trigger on it and send that through through his chest plate.
Nice. That's awesome.
But I think I shove him out the airlock and try and close it. And this is weak fingers trying to close and get everything together. So, yeah. And in the meantime, the tie's kind of listing.
It's flying all over the place. Yeah. Oh. Give me one last overcome to see if you are able to get through this without taking further harm.
Okay. And this is going to be overcome probably with courage to try to do all of this stuff.
Yeah, this seems courageous.
That is a 9. Pay a price to take the 10 plus result. Yeah, I'll pay a price. What do you think that is?
Okay. Tyler would love recommendations from you. Prices you can pay is you have to use up some of your gear. It could be just straight up harm because you're trying to do all this crazy stuff. It could be
How
damaging a
about
bond.
how about oh, I'm sorry, Tyler. You go ahead.
No. You go right ahead. If you have something good for pay the price, then it should come out of you.
I was going to say, what if this takes me out of the scene? The loss of oxygen, I pass out.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Right? I'm unconscious in the TIE fighter, and it's listing around. It's not, taking off. It's just kind of floating in space.
Nice.
Technically, don't TIE fighters not have life support inside of them?
No,
Is that why
and
they have
don't
to wear flight suits?
Yeah, they don't have hyperspace engines. They don't have life support inside.
So
They
it's
are
really like you did a quick thing in here just to hold on to what air you have left.
Oof, that is rough. So, yeah, looking at the fact that we have a hard stop, I think Zop, you are with Darren and Oron working together. They pull you into and through the little force shield into the private hangar. Zop is in rough shape. Little Falkeen is on Queen no less Sintel's ship, and I think yeah, I'd like to see a moment. I'd like to see Oron, Darren, and a very messed up Zop. What is he's
I have a bit
alive.
of an idea.
Ooh.
And let me know if this is okay or not. But I think seeing how injured Zop is, and just everything going on. I feel like, and like at first, Darren feels like he's in like this dire need. He doesn't know how he can help. And I think the person he thinks that's always the best in a situation is Nanta. And I would love to use Noble Bearing to bring Nanta here. Which is your allies are always where you need them most. When you are in dire need, you may erase a bond, one of your bonds, to have that person listed in that bond appear at your side.
And the freaking TIE fighter just like lists into the hangar is what you're just
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay.
I think that how about this narratively? I think that that's whenever Darren hits the button and the TIE fighters are recalled in autopilot.
Interesting. Sure. These are the mining guild versions. Maybe that is a thing that they have added to these specific custom jobs. And yeah, you recall the TIE fighters and Nanta is pulled to you. I like that. That's wild.
Yep.
I think Oron takes his healing wine that he was originally offering to Darren and turns to Zop and just pushes it in your face.
Zop like pushes down the healing wine. And he's crispy, right? Like there's sounds.
Oof.
And he just starts to laugh. Oh, 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 oh.
Oron laughs back. I think that the absurdity of this
Hilarious.
moment.
Are you going to say something? Okay. All right.
Stop, you have to drink the wine. You can't just laugh.
Oh, and Nanta is there now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Nanta just tumbles in.
Zop removes one of the pins from his jacket, the Tanwa flower, and presses it into Nanta's paw. Because Nanta left in one ship and came back in another ship. That's enough for Zop now.
Oh.
And yes, I will drink the wine.
Okay, good.
Sweet.
Well, you need the wine more than me, Darren. Look at you.
Listen. Shh. It's like I got stuff. It's fine.
So, I think two things happen here at this point. You guys have all gathered together. Zop's had a bit of wine. Darren's looking rough. Zop is nigh dead. Nanta is in rough shape as well. And the Queen in Exile, sister to Darren, reaches out. Leofera reaches out to you, Darren, over the comms. Darren, tell me you're safe.
I'm whole.
Thank the stillness. We've captured no less. But there's something you need to see. And we cut to the group of you watching a news report over the HoloNet. And it is a live report, several hours old, but through HoloNet, on the streets of Coruscant as green-eyed monsters are eating people.
Oh, Jesus.
And they're running through like all of the measures that they've taken, and then there's a quick bit of footage of a person falling to one of these people and then rising again with a green phosphorescence coming. And with that, we will bring this session to a close so that we can get through some things. Let's do our end of session. Did you strike a blow against the Empire, its leaders? Emphatically, yes. Did you protect the common folk from harm?
No, I don't think there's really any common
Yo.
folk in this.
Now,
They're getting eaten.
well,
Whoa.
within this,
I
there
protected my
are a ton
common
of
people.
slaves on the Dominion's Claw who you will have freed. That wasn't really your purpose, so
I would say no, it's not. That's
Okay.
stressed point.
did you learn something new about the Empire and its plans?
Yes.
Yeah.
The galaxy at large did, unfortunately.
So that's 2 yes answers. You get to choose one of the following options. Refresh one piece of their gear to its fullest value. Choose a stat to heal. Does not have to be your own. The Fellowship and the Empire each choose a player to level up.
Real quick question. Sorry, did I drink some of that wine and that allows me to undo one of
How
my
many
damage?
uses? Or
It has 2 uses, so you each can have 1 use, and yeah, it's healing is all it says. Healing drunk 2 uses, which I believe it means it lets you recover one of your damaged stats.
Yep.
Cool. If you're okay with it, Rich, I will also use one of my Bacta sprays.
Okay. Use up your stuff. That sounds good.
Now, y'all play next week. Is that right?
Yes.
You're scheduled to play. Yes.
And that's your last one, Cody.
Yes.
And then we come together for one after that.
Yep.
We are scheduled for one after that. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
So we have the 18th, 25th, and 1st, right?
We have the 18th and the 25th for sure. The first, if we need it.
Okay, first
Okay.
if we need it. Okay, just
Okay. I choose to level up Matron Chevalsa so that
I
she
don't
can be
know if I
redeemed.
can. I think there's some 5s. I'm a 6.
I was gonna say Zop and Nanta should get some levels after this surviving absolute insanity out in space.
Okay. All right. I'll level up. Or well, I pick one. We pick one, and then I choose Nanta. Nanta should level up from the Fellowship.
I also
Craziness.
vote Nanta.
Okay.
And then I can only choose someone who's level 5. So
Correct.
that would be Oron.
Or Zop.
I think Zop's. Oh. Nah, Oron. Zop got his ass handed to him
Yeah.
on the
I had some
Empire.
pretty bad rolls.
Although, like, personality-wise, you are definitely more favorable to the Empire's goals than Oron is.
Yeah, right. I'm a loose cannon now.
It's true. Okay, you get the levels up. Sorry, Oron, I'm stealing it away from you because I'm the Empire and you're a Jedi.
That's, you know what? I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm at a limit. I guess I actually have to take the Destiny if I level up again. So
Cool. So that's one. You have a second choice. What was the second?
our second choice. Who still has stuff left to heal? Nanta, are you damaged? Yes. Darren's damaged. I would say maybe heal because it feels like it's gonna pop off.
There's two options. One, we could heal, and we could both, and that way you wouldn't spend all of your wine and the back to spray. We could take some of that.
Yeah.
Or the second option would be to level Zop, and then but that would be up to if we level Zop, everybody's at 6,
Well,
and
no,
then it'd be up to Rich as to who gets the next level, right?
it'd be the reverse. Zop did level up. I'm at 5, so it would choose me to
the
6, and
Oran.
then yeah.
And then I was like, but that way we could get to Matron Chevalsa, but we can't. We'll see about getting that next session.
Yeah, you got one more thing. Maybe you guys will
Okay.
be okay.
So maybe we should heal.
Yeah, I think heal or does
Actually,
everybody
I think, Steven, you were on the right track.
yeah.
Do the heal, yeah, and save your save the things you use to heal, because then
Yeah.
you'll have them in reserve. Because
Oh, I mean-
altogether we have 4 picks for healing. And I don't think there were 4 total damage, were there?
I think there were. I have 3 damage
Yeah.
stat.
3 damage stat, and
And I had
Zop, you
1.
had 1 and 1.
Yeah.
For Zop had 1, you had 1. So take the healing. We'll drop 4 of those, and then only 1 use of somebody's healing item.
Yeah, we can use one of my back to sprays.
I don't necessarily want to do that because I use my item in play. So undoing
Okay.
it now feels uncool. But Darren did use the sprays at the end. So if Darren doesn't want to use any of their sprays, because that kind of happened at the end there, I'd be fine with that. But I used my
That
healing
makes
wine
sense.
a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, I don't care about damaging the back to spray. If it's better, I think, to level people up so that way they get cool stuff. Because if we're using the wine anyway,
Yeah, I could go ahead and level Orin and give Rich a pick.
and then Orin will level probably I mean not Orin. Rich will probably
Yeah.
level Chevelsa.
I'm fine with
Why?
that.
Why would I? Then I lose Chevelsa.
Right.
Why would I
But
do
it's
that?
otherwise it's one of us.
True.
So why don't we do the level? Oron, you're here next week, right?
I'm here next week.
Okay,
All
so
right.
Go
yeah,
ahead and
let's
get him
level
his
Oron.
level.
Yeah.
And
All right.
then Rich could level someone else. I'm not here, so maybe give it to
Exactly.
somebody else.
It's true. If I level you, it doesn't. I mean, it will hurt me, but they're gonna do it anyway. And if I level one of them, they get more powers to use against me next session. So I'm gonna go for the short win of leveling Chevelsa. Because then none of you guys get that level that you'll use against me when you confront Warlord Zinch. Or maybe you won't confront Warlord Zinch. Who knows? Maybe we'll just have a whole downtime section. You guys can like hug and eat some food and tell
Dissolve the
stories.
holocron.
Hug the holocron. There's lots of things you could do.
Get
Sweet.
a
second.
journey in.
Get a journey in. It's true.
We forged I forged a new Oron bond, which was Orin lifts me from the chaos of my mind to do good deeds. Or to do just deeds.
Nice. I increased
Nice.
my bond with you as well. That I've taught Darren the ways of Jedi sensitivity, and he is becoming a powerful ally in the Force.
So cute.
If only your son would stop trying to tear me into the darkness.
It's not
And
my
I
son.
think
It's a future dark side
Zop and
spirit.
I think Zop and I forged a bond there at the end.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I lost my
Um,
by the way.
Cody, you have a hard stop, is that right?
Yep.
Do we have anything else that we need to do before we finish up?
Wishes and stars.
Yeah, Cody, go.
The northern mechanical stuff. So, wishes and stars, Cody.
Wishes, stars to everybody. That was a lot of fun. There was some really wild ideas. Wishes, I want some fucking pain. I think we were on the edge of some really nasty results this time, and Rich softballed us. I think there was a lot of shenanigans that maybe should have worked as well as they did. And I mean, we abandoned ship with 2 people on it and TIE fighters blowing it up, and nothing bad happened to that. That's amazing. I'm just saying, I think we got away
You
with a
haven't
lot.
returned to the Diligent Spark, but I hear you. You're not
Yep.
wrong.
So I wish to see some things.
We did have Princess
get
Leia
tough.
flying through space, kind of action going on in the sequel series stuff. Yep.
All right. With that, and yeah, stars to everybody. The ideas you're putting out there were great. Kay, the turmoil you're experiencing and all the things you're playing out with those scenes, loving them. Chef's kiss. Awesome. All right. With that, I will bounce. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, and we rolled terribly, which is a star. I think it's a star that we rolled bad off the time. All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, more wishes, and then we'll bring things to a close. Greg.
Wishes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the fallout of that hard move there at the end. And I wish to see me use little Falkeen to turn Queen Sintel possibly against Zinj.
Ooh.
And I want to see Darren destroy the holocron, but that's a selfish one.
Okay. Steven, wishes.
That's a struggle. The only thing I can think of is, to be honest, this session felt a little rushed. I think we've done everything we could, to limit conversation and get through things. And I think maybe that's a good thing. We need to push forward, and it feels like we're on the edge of that wave. Maybe that's a good feeling. But to me, it felt like we were trying to do a lot of stuff. Yeah. Push the narrative to the point where if I was watching the show, it might be a little confusing.
That's
Yeah.
disappointing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wishes?
I wish to be more decisive about whether I want to let Darren do things or not. No, I mean, yeah, I think it was our last. We got. I need some heart wrenching emotional moment with Oron probably in Versi. Since our last Cody session, and those two and their romance and wonderful things, and so I would love some kind of head with the Matos Oron situation, in many ways, even if it doesn't involve Darren, just because I think that's a cool dynamic. And next is our last session with Cody. And then another wish is I want to murder. I want to murder our evil Emperor Zinj. I really do. Oh,
All right.
yeah, that face. Thank you, Greg.
And Tyler, wishes.
I don't know how Cody wants to go out, but I want, my wish is to see a nice fulfilling into his part in this story. I don't know if it's some sacrifice or what happens there, but I want him to have that opportunity. I agree with Kay. Versi kind of moment. We kind of laughed about it all downtime session. I don't know if that's what would happen, but having Cody get that opportunity to fulfill out the character and lead into the fight, get a chance to, be a part of the finale of Zinj. My wish also is there's a piece of him left for me for that last session. I definitely want to have a shot at some Zinj action myself when we come to the end.
Okay. You went last with wishes. You get to go first with stars if you have any.
This was high action. There were some really super nifty things out of everybody. I loved Darren and his sister's interactions. They felt very sweet, they felt very good. Um More emotional than most Star Wars, God. Star Wars sort of moments, which can sometimes be a little shallow emotionally. This felt very deep. Um, I Zop all over the place being a badass, and then a ship blowing up around him, and having the little Valkyrie moment was cool, and just there was a lot there. And oh my God, not to own that TIE fighter swinging around, and the plan. First off, the plan to start it all off was very good. Really set us in motion. That was excellent. Good job, Stephen. But the way you dealt in that TIE fighter, and you coming up sometimes with even your own bad things, which is really nice. Just really well done. Um, and Rich, again, a super exciting session that I could see where Steven's saying it would say on a TV show, there's a lot going on. But hell, I've seen that TV show in Star Wars world, so that isn't off tone. But you cramming so much into this one session, Rich, cannot be easy. So getting that done, I will give a big thumbs up to.
Thanks. So Kay, any stars?
Oh, absolutely, of course. First of all, Rich, fucking, matrons and Dathomir, you have destroyed our planet. Like it's such a fun thing, and I'm interested to see how that ends up paralleling with Darren, because I feel like they had very similar motivations, and like that question of does Darren take a similar path to the matron by siding with like the darker side. But now we see, even though Darren doesn't know this, like we as the audience see that yes, matron sided with the darker side thinking that she was going to help her people, and that was how she was going to save Dathomir, and it didn't work, and it in fact destroyed Dathomir. And that's like such a great like juxtaposition of these two characters to see then where Darren ends up and yada yada. So that was brilliant. Huge star for that. Star Steven, all the things obviously that Tyler said, but also I just love like some of the, again, there's wonderful little details, little in bold italicized, that you do for Nanta, like that he's in the suit and the reason the other guy can't hit him is because he's in the suit, but the suit does not encompass all of him. The suit's bigger. Which part of the suit is he in? Such a great little funsy moment and phenomenal. Greg, Zop's Rhodian lullaby, that was both a soft tenor to lull Darren to sleep and a battle cry to attack the Zygerian mistress. Like so that wonderful juxtaposition there, and then just having him laugh in such a serious moment is such like a wonderful little tension breaker there. Absolutely. Cody, you're not here, but maybe you'll see this on the recording. But Star, there's something so delightful about how clearly Oron wants to care, but still feels guided by that desire to clinch some of his emotions and do what necessarily needs to be done as per the Jedi, and how that both limits and strengthens him in moments of battle. And Tyler, I love the matron. I'm a little bummed we didn't get a matron Darren scene, but hopefully there's a wish for the last session. But yeah, just there's something so delicious as she's about to become the reformed, watching everything she did as a bad guy blow up in her face. And I'm curious to see how she will take from that.
Wow, that was some masterful stars. Thank you very much, Kay. Steven, any stars left?
Well, ditto to everything. I can say I just had a thought that might be a wish, which is next session seeing Cody, attack Zinj is an important thing. And then in the next session we have Tyler back, right? With the matron.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the matron can help clean things up on Coruscant. Right? So maybe that's a wish that we have, epilogues would be the last session. But maybe that's a way to split things. Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud. Stars. So I really loved, the scene where, the Rhodian opera coming back was amazing. And then you just taking was it a slug thrower and firing through and just taking, boom, boom, just emptying it out. That was amazing. And the way that y'all did no holds barred, we're going after the queen, pushing it right to the limit. It was full of action and intensity. And I was like, holy, this is something I didn't feel like we'd seen before. I was like, this is so much. This is so good. I really enjoyed the interaction scene between Darren and Oron and the, development that happened there. You have to trust me, and Darren starting to have less faith in the voice that was talking to him and all of that. And I have to give you a star, Rich, which is the whole thing on Coruscant and the twisting with Dathomir and how bad things were there, and twisting that with Chevalsa showed off how the dark side feeds upon itself. And then it was very much, I'm not going to tell you the plan while you could possibly do something about it. It's already been deployed, right? I'm like, that's kind of amazing. That's so good. And, coming up with all of these things that kind of put us into the, action right away, amped up the threats. That was very, very much what we had asked for. It was very good. So yeah, good all around.
Thanks. Thanks so much. Greg, bring us home.
Yeah, one last wish on mine is I did think of it. I would love to see a little bit more with Zop and Oron with Cody's last session. Um, I would love to see Oron and Zop fight side by side.
Hmm.
For a purpose. Just because I think it would be elegant to sort of tie up that knot of us fencing and training together. Big start of the whole session. I really enjoyed the pace of it. I really enjoyed, it was very action packed. It was very exciting the whole time. I really I think Zop exploded and was fried nearly to a crisp at the end, and somehow Chevalsa had a worse session. That was my big takeaway. I was like, man, wow, Rich and Tyler are just trading hard moves back and forth. This is bad. So I loved that. I loved all of the scenes with the Darren and Oron pulling Zop back. I loved that it was really a moment about them, not about saving Zop. It was about saving Zop, but it was really a moment of that friendship developing something new. And then Steven, like, taking the what makes Star Wars so great is that it encompasses a lot of tone. There's a lot of things that are Star Wars, and just like juxtaposing all of the serious action and stuff with the slapstick comedy is what makes Star Wars so great. And you just dove right into that to make it feel complete as a story at the end. And I loved it. It was amazing. I'm super excited for the end of this. So
Cool. Cool, cool. Oh man, scary. No Cody, but this crew sorry,
no, Tyler.
no Tyler next week, but this crew next week, and then Tyler, but no Cody for the official final session. Let's hope we stick the landing. It's very nerve-wracking now. This is the worst part of series, is the coming to the end and making sure that it pays off.
There's always epilogues.
It's true. It's true. Thank you.
Real quick, I meant to say this before, and we are sans Cody, so it doesn't work as well. But I just wanted to say, and I'll mention this later, and Cody maybe we'll see on the thing. This has been one of my most favorite groups to ever play with. On the Gauntlet in the 4 years we have done this. This is such a great little group with such diverse storytelling chops and abilities in like all kind of sectors of the RPG checkoff list. And yeah, I just want to say this group is absolutely phenomenal. How dare Cody have real life obligations, so I can't say it to his face right now also.
I don't know how
But-
real life it is. I think he was going to run a different game, but
Oh, that almost makes it better. But yeah, this is just phenomenal group. Like such a joy. Thank you, Rich, for bringing this group together and making this game happen.
I've really enjoyed it. It's been a great salve to hard weeks at work to know that I get to play with you guys. So thank you all so much. With that, we'll bring this recording and session to a close.
Oh,